Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. I'd say overall, WrestleMania 37 was in the top third of all time. Night 1 was excellent, and aside for the women's tag match still going on, Night 2 was pretty good as well. Apart from its first finish, where The Fiend lost to Randy Orton in 5 minutes via one RKO, because Alexa Bliss turned into a zombie queen, which even a crowd that hadn't seen live wrestling for over a year booed. But we still clung to hope. Sure, The Fiend was just beaten clean again by Randy Orton after a 7-month feud where he really should have gotten his revenge victory after, being burned alive. But maybe this was serving a larger supernatural epic story. Was this new demonic force actually The Fiend's star-crossed lover? Or was Aleister Black behind Bliss's turn, setting up a new feud, purely because she was sat cross-legged? Really clutching at straws to make me like this. Well, on last night's Raw, we got our answer. None of those things. Bliss just turned on Bray because she's more evil now, and Orton's finally moved on. Meaning it's all building to a Bliss versus Fiend match, I guess. And according to Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select, it's because WrestleMania weekend saw the feud's original plans torn up. Apparently, as of last Friday, The Fiend was set to win at Mania Night 2, but it was changed over the weekend to Orton beating him. SRS adds that a Firefly Funhouse match was never planned, and the talent involved were never given an endgame to the storyline throughout the entire feud. It was Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon who were instrumental in the change and the decision-making process associated. And although there was a strong push among talent for Wyatt to win, just like when everyone wanted Wyatt to beat Goldberg, management seemed happy with the finish as it played out. What do you think of The Fiend versus Orton at WrestleMania? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from out of The Fiend's box-shaped structure. As for Sheamus beating Riddle to win the United States Championship, Dave Meltzer is reporting this was done because Riddle was never supposed to win in the first place. It was reported a few weeks ago that Keith Lee was set to win the title in a triple threat at Elimination Chamber, but was removed for health reasons and replaced by John Morrison. That match was designed to get the belt off Bobby Lashley so he could win the WWE Championship from The Miz on Raw the week after. But they couldn't put the belt on Morrison because he was involved in the Bad Bunny program for WrestleMania, so it was put on Riddle. Speaking of Lashley winning the title, WWE made Bobby look really great for about 2 weeks after that win. Too great if you ask me. He started to get over too much, so they broke up his popular Hurt Business faction and teamed in with Baron Corbin for a hot second to get the fans booing him again. Both Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin have publicly criticised the decision to break them up, and MVP and Lashley reportedly petitioned to Vince McMahon himself to keep the group together. And now Lashley has spoken with Ryan Satin on his Out of Character podcast that the split left him heartbroken because the Hurt Business was something very special, and that, in the wrestling business, it's very seldom that really special things come together and you see so many people get behind it. Thankfully, WWE had a far better faction planned for Lashley. Retribution! I'll get into that load of crap with my Raw review in a second, but first, please subscribe to WrestleTalk and enable notifications to always on so you know when the WrestleTalk news goes live every day. Almost a third of you aren't subscribed right now, and if every single one of those people did, we'd easily pass our 800,000 subscriber goal, and I'll have to dress up as Maki Ito on top of all the ridiculousness that's currently happening on my head. But now it's time for my review of Raw in about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Vision, Adonis, and The Rocket, Dan Van Sky. The episode opened on a clip from earlier in the day making Bobby Lashley look like an absolute megastar, turning up backstage to be greeted by Humberto Carrillo, Gran Metalik, and a producer they'd obviously just grabbed last minute to be an extra wanting an autograph. Maximum effort. Riddle interrupted him with generic stoner dialogue, leading to Lashley taking 98% of their opening match and them winning. This was a 10-minute squash match and completely derailed any momentum Riddle had following his brilliant Mania match with Sheamus the previous night. I try not to throw around the word burial too much, but this sure felt like one. The Viking Raiders are back, or the Viking Express, as new lead play-by-play announcer Adam Verk called them. That's right, we've also got a brand new Raw commentary team of Verk, Byron Saxton and Corey Graves, who sound exactly like every other commentary team in WWE already. It was great seeing Eric and Ivar back together again. They beat Cedric and Shelton in a decent match. Charlotte Flair then made her return to piped-in Thunderdome cheers to cut an in-ring promo that ended in her getting piped-in Thunderdome boos. She weirdly said a lot of stuff about how she wasn't welcome at WrestleMania and that it wasn't her fault, without ever actually saying what had happened. But she did seemingly shoot on the rest of the women's locker room being happy she wouldn't be getting another title match. Potentially a reference to Andrade saying the rest of the division is jealous of Flair. Regardless of the odd shoot work blend, she's much better as a heel. Charlotte finished by calling out pretty much every other lady wrestler on the roster, including, interestingly, ending her list on WWE's other favourite blonde, Alexa Bliss. I can definitely see them building to Bliss versus Flair around SummerSlam time. But first, Flair's got to beat everyone else. Rhea Ripley and Asuka had a Mania rematch next in a feud that actually had substance now the title change beef exists between them. I thought this match had a lot more intensity than the previous night, but Raw DQ's on. Charlotte booted them both in the face to throw the match out. The Omni Flair. Then Bliss confirmed in her Playhouse segment she did indeed turn on the Fiend at WrestleMania, as she's unlocked something far more evil in herself. Some kind of puppet called Lily, which spoke to end the segment. I'm actually going to play a clip of it to show you what it looked like. Hopefully we don't get copyright flagged. I'm Lily! Let me in! The Fiend kind of got to reply later on, with Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt making his return to Raw in the Firefly Funhouse, doing a preacher gimmick saying he's reborn. This didn't really further anything, but was the best thing on an otherwise abysmal show, like The Miz in his pants pinning Damian Priest. After a Miz Marisa Morrison segment was interrupted by Damian Priest so they could all speak about how great Bad Bunny is, because whenever Bad Bunny isn't on screen, all the other characters must ask, "Where's Bad Bunny? Where's Bad Bunny?" Miz and Morrison took on Priest in a handicap match. Morrison versus Priest was actually really cool, but a stripped down Miz managed to roll up Damian with his feet on the ropes thanks to Maurice's distraction. Priest already is just like every other NXT call-up you were excited for, destined for the lower mid-card. Why ever care about anything that's exciting? But even with all that, the worst came next. I don't know why the women's tag division is what's consistently broken me over WrestleMania weekend. The Night 1 gauntlet match, the Night 2 title match that's probably still going on. And here, somehow the worst of them all, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke getting yet another match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. It was all based around Nia and Shayna making fun of Mandy for falling over, where Jax got her comeuppance as she fell off the apron as she tried to get back in the ring. Ha ha, her hole. Maybe that's where WWE get their booking from. Because then one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in wrestling happened. Rose and Brooke should have taken advantage of this and finally beaten the champs, right? But they didn't. Instead, they walked out the match, backing up the ramp, seemingly scared of an irate Jax. The babyface challengers effectively running away to take a count-out loss, while Byron, the babyface commentator, said they were sending a message, as it was just as good as beating them. No, it isn't, you absolute idiot. Beating them is as good as beating them. Everything in this promotion is absolute nonsense. Truth is a construct. Morality is inconsistent. Trying to cling onto any remnant of sense is futile. This company is so incredibly inept. I don't know why this, of all the things, is the booking straw that broke my back, but WWE. Not making much more sense, the New Day then cut a promo on Elias and Jackson Ryker for bringing shame on the tag division, despite Elias and Ryker not being in the tag division. This show is an assault on brain cells. Woods beat Elias, and the main event saw Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman to become Lashley's #1 contender at WWE's biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. BACKLASH. That's another annoying thing they're doing, by the way. It was a fun main event, particularly any Orton versus Drew parts, with a fantastic finish of Randy RKOing Strowman for Drew to break up the pin with a Claymore on Orton's head to win, which is good. Of all the uninspiring, repetitive stories WWE have booked for this Raw after Mania, a Drew versus Lashley rematch is actually one I really want. Oh my god damn it, Retribution! T-Bar and Mace, still in their stupid, failed Retribution gimmicks, attacked McIntyre after he won, aligning themselves with MVP and Lashley. Meaning WWE broke up the Hurt Business and Retribution factions, realised they needed factions, so smushed the biggest boy remnants together for McMahon's personal wank collage. Frustratingly, this was pretty close to working if they just debuted them as Dominik Dijakovic and Dio Madden, saying they've left their Retribution stuff behind because MVP has taken them on as clients. But no, they've still got stupid names and masks. It's like WWE really went out of their way to make this show suck as hard as possible. What did you think of the Raw after Mania? Let me know in the comments down below, and vote in our poll on a poll match on the community tab, where 71% of you went for Mandy and Dana sent a message, alright, to viewers to stop watching. The Raw after Mania is meant to be the show that sets up for the new season. Debuts, returns, fresh stories, big angles. Yet we got no tag champs with AJ and Amos, no US champ with Sheamus. As Nate FV put it on our live reactions, this show is made for nobody. Starring Bob Odenkirk. This show is so bad. Here's the moment Mandy and Dana walking out broke me on last night's reactions.
It's an interesting experience to watch Raw live with ad breaks, with people. I always thought this would be a more forgiving experience, you know, because we're watching it together. I'm having fun with you. Everyone else in the chat. It always makes things more enjoyable. It's like going to the pub with friends to watch something. A nicer experience. So I always thought, if I lived in America and I watched Raw in real time every Monday night and I was chatting to people as it was going on, yes, I'd enjoy it more. No, it's crap. This is a crap 3 hours of TV. It was crap before Mania, consistently. Like, this is a show I would not watch as an adult. It's a show I wouldn't watch as a kid. This is a show made for nobody, yet we all sit here and watch it. And yeah, I'm a big hypocrite. If Samoa Joe walks out in the main event, I'm going to be marking out, because there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with all of us, in that we love wrestling so much and have grown up with WWE. We're in this weird abusive relationship where we let them off for things like that. We're just always so hopeful that they're going to turn a corner and do something good for a change, that Cesaro's going to get a push, the Riddle's going to get a push. None of this stuff happens ever, yet we're still here in this sort of Sisyphean eternal struggle, always hoping that something's going to change and get better. It is utterly depressing.
I could not have put it better.
The Raw after Mania, after 2 back-to-back 1 out of 5 shows, what a streak! For the first time ever that I can recall, is 0 out of 5. And to make things worse, you all raised a grand total of £20,626 for the mental health charity Calm over WrestleMania weekend. 206% of the original target, meaning not only do I have to shave off the rest of my hair on tomorrow's Quizzlemania, I also have to shave off my beautiful eyebrows. It's me versus Luke versus Pete versus defending champion Sean Ross Sapp, but I will become the first dual challenging and shaving competitor at Quizzlemania eyebrows. Screw you all! What are the 10 biggest takeaways from Chris Jericho's interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin? Click the video on the right for Adam Blompier's latest list, and watch my review of WrestleMania Night 2 by clicking the video below that. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.